Hi everyone, welcome to part 5 of this series from Johanna Basford's Worlds of Wonder. Now we're using Faber Castell Polychromos for this column here, and so this is the last one we're going to be doing with the Polychromos. So this is the sort of first part of our mini series that will be done. Then when we start this bit we use a different pencil and this bit a different pencil. So these 5 will be put together in a mini-series compilation for my YouTube channel members, so they'll be able to access all of those in one go. And the same will happen for these, so these would all be one compilation for them and these. So I've kept them fairly small because each house does take a little while to do. And I may make something different in between, so I might not do the next house tomorrow, I might do something a little bit different. It sort of depends on what I fancy doing really. So this, as I said, this is our last one of the row, and we've got a rather grand looking house with a very pretty little pot plant beside it, so that's rather fun. Now I'm trying to think of something a little bit different. So our first house was sort of brick colour without actual bricks. Our next house we drew in some bricks, then we had a blue house, then we had a wooden house. Now this house I'm thinking I might do some sort of stone look on it, perhaps maybe grey for a little bit different. So that's my thought here. Now for the house, stones on a house, I would tend to use a sort of warm grey, I think, and I'm going to mark them out actually with my sepia pencil, my dark sepia. Now I'm not going to do them on all the parts, I think I'll just do them maybe on the back ones and keep the front one plain as if it's rendered. So I think I'll do it like that. So I'm just going to draw in this bit. Look, it makes what looks like an obvious starting position there, and we'll just draw in a little bit. Now I'm going to mark it fairly dark because when I did this last time it didn't show up, I had to go back. Now when you're marking stone bricks, they don't line up, so you don't put that line, you line it up somewhere else, say here or here. It's always quite tricky when you're doing a thin bit like this to get them lining up in different places, because some of them look too thin, but it's important or else it just doesn't look right. That one there. And this would sort of be the bottom, but it's a bit too big. We'll do that. Oops. Put one there, and one there. Make that a little bit, maybe that'll work. So we want these to fairly line up, I think. Then our next line is about here. We've got one very close, one in the middle, one there. That one's there. Actually that's reverse of that. That should be in there. But never mind, it's done now. There we go. So I've marked it out, and what I'm going to do is actually go back over it all before I colour them in. Just to increase, the intensity of those lines. There. Now, sorry for the lack of talking there. It takes a bit of concentration. Now you could use a ruler. Probably would have been a good idea, but never mind. Now our actual bricks. I'm going to use a cold grey 4. There you go. And what I'm going to do with each brick is do a dark outside and then a bit less towards the middle. I think we did that for our bricks, our brown ones that we did further up, but I think that's okay. I think it helps to make them look a bit textured as well. Can't do much with that little tiny bit. And I found it more interesting to colour. See, the reasoning for making our line so dark is that it looks like a shadow. It looks like it could either be the mortar between the bricks or it could be the shadows around them. And I think it helps make them look better. But it's just my personal opinion, of course. I'm trying to think of what colour. I can't do a roof that's grey now. A lot of our houses have got grey roofs, haven't they? It's not going to work. But I've got an idea already. It's good. But I don't know what colour to do this bit. What colour would you do? And I'm thinking a blue might work, but we've already got a blue house, so we want to do something a bit different. I don't want to do anything like weird, like orange or green or purple. I know those colours of houses exist, but not in my imagination, I'm afraid. Maybe I'm just too conservative, but no. I have done in my old book copy of this book, I did do quite a lot of mad colours for the housing, but not this time. There we go. So there's our brickwork, and I've decided that I'm going to do the roof in this colour, in the sanguine. So I'm going to do that first, and then it'll help me to pick the rest of the colours. So this is the chimney. I'm not going to do that in this colour. I'm just going to go over the whole roof, starting a little bit darker at the top and just coming down to a lighter colour at the bottom. I have seen roof tiles this colour. I'm not just totally gone mad. And then this side to sort of match. Down to the bottom where it's a little bit lighter. And I'm going to go back over again. Like that. Now this roof is going to be the same colour, but I'm thinking maybe a bit lighter. So I'm going to start off with a bit of a lighter layer and then try and fade it even lighter. It'll be a bit tricky to get it really pale. I'll see how I go. What I'm doing now is I'm doing my lightest bit first. And then I know how dark I need to go. I don't have to go too dark. I realise I've been colouring out the lines a bit over this bit. Okay, I'm just going to erase a little bit inside those arches on top of here. I think I'm going to do them the same colour as our chimney pots, and that's going to be a grey. I think I used the one in between, so I used 6 and 4 for our bricks, and I'm going to use 5, the warm grey 5. And for this part, now I don't really know whether this is sticking out or not, or if it's just a sort of frame or bit of brick or quite what it is, so I'm just colouring it in, and the sill as well. Then have we got any other sills? No, we do our chimney pots. I'm just going to sharpen this because I want to make the chimney pots look rounded if I can, by putting a darker bit each side, like that. There we go. Okay, now I'm also wondering whether to do the render on the front in a grey. I think I will, but not that dark. I'm thinking maybe actually the warm grey too. It's really quite pale. I'm going to try it and see how it looks. It might just be a bit too pale. I'm just going to erase here where I've gone over the lines, because it's going to really show when I use the really pale colour. Sometimes you can cover up a mistake with the colour, but not when you're going this pale. I think that works quite well. So just covering all of it really. Like that, and in here. I'm going to do this all the same colour, and then I want this a bit darker. Be sort of in the shade, shadow. And there we go. I'm just looking and checking and thinking, I think that's fine. Now our flower pot, I think I'm going to do it in the roof colour, in the sanguine. It's very terracotta-like, which flower pots can very much be, but I'm going to put it on quite dark so that it doesn't necessarily look like it's the same colour, even though it is. Okay, front door is bugging me a bit. We're going to do, what front door would you do? I don't know. Oh, I'm having a big yawn. I'm going to go with my dark sepia and do some shadows while I'm thinking about it. So look, down here by the roof, Johanna has already marked to us to show that there'll be some shadow. And then down here as well. That roof, like that. Exactly the same on the other side. Keep it under there as well. There we go. Still haven't resolved my front door issue. Let's make the door handles the sanguine, just to match them in. I know, I'm going to do a dark wood. Let's find our walnut brown. No. A light layer. It's a dark brown, so a light layer looks quite dark, and then stripes in it. There we go. Right, we've got a green tree to do next. I want to keep to our sort of dull colours, perhaps is the right word, I'm not sure. And so I feel that this earth green yellowish might be the right colour. I'm just going to sharpen it. This is brand new. There we go. It's not exactly vibrant, but it's a little bit brighter in the house. It's also got a bit of grass here. There we go. And now we're left with windows. I want to make some yellow in there because I know we've done some greys, some yellow, some whatever, because I think because it's got such, it looks really cold at the moment, so we're just going to brighten it slightly, but we don't want to go orangey yellow like here. I think it would be too much, so I'm going to use the light yellow glaze, so it's quite a pale yellow. So, oops, just got to sharpen it up. Excuse me. So I'm going to just do, I'm not going to do more than one colour, I'm just going to put a layer in here. And I'm not completely happy with the way the roofs look, so I'm going to go back in there in a minute with some sanguine and just change it up a tiny bit. I'm not going to majorly change it, I'm just going to neaten it and darken it. Right, there is the windows. It looks a bit warmer. It's not bright warm, it's how I wanted it to be, sanguine. So I'm just going to layer up my colour here. Just heard a train go by. I heard a steam train the other day. Was it yesterday or the day before? Day before. There were train strikes. But because the steam trains are different to the diesel trains, they weren't on strike. And yeah, it was, I heard it and I rushed to the window and I couldn't see it. The problem at this time of year, so I can darken this up. Really what I wanted to do was darken this up a bit, but I couldn't do that. If I wanted these to still look darker, so I needed to make those darker first. Yeah, when this time of year the trees are so thick with all their leaves, you can't see the trains. I mean, it does mean that we don't get so much noise as well, but I heard the whistle of the steam train is so good. But no, I didn't see it. Also realised we've got no shadow under this roof. Okay, so I've grabbed my dark sepia. I'm also going to put some under the windowsill. It's not sharp enough though. So a little bit under here. Oops, that's too thick. It's too late now. What I wanted to do is a really thin line, but unfortunately my pencil wasn't as sharp as I thought it was. But never mind. It's no good trying to erase the sepia, it's too dark. So put a line under there. I think I might need to thicken that slightly. I'm just going to do it gently. I was thinking that if you put a bit extra shadow on the corner, I don't know why, it just seems to work somehow. Anyway, there we go. Makes the roof look like it's sticking out a fair bit. I also want a little bit of shadow inside this sort of porch, just coming up the wall here. I feel it would be darker there and on the inside. Like that. Maybe a little bit here. This needs to be all the way to the edge. I'll just do that. I'm just fiddling now. Why not? You could fiddle and faddle for a long old time if you wanted to. You can put a bit of shadow under the windows as well if you wish, but I'm not sure it's going to make a huge difference. I'm just trying to straighten it up. It's quite difficult to get it straight. There we go. Yeah, I think I am happy with that one. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there for fear of sort of spoiling it. She says, fiddling away. Yeah, so that's me done. So those 5 are completed, which is rather fun. And the next column will be a different brand of pencil, so something slightly different. I've got a bit of an idea for each of them now, which is fun. So that'll be good to play with later. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really super day and happy colouring.